Okay, so I heard that there was an executive order that President Trump signed a couple of days ago, or maybe a week ago or so, um, directing the government to double the ICE force. I think there was something like 20 or 30,000 ICE agents, and that they were doubling that number to 40 or 60 or whatever doubling it would be. I tried to look for an article on this, and in doing so, I found this statement from the official WhiteHouse.gov about Project Homecoming. This was released 3 days ago. I had not heard about this. Um, I'm interested to hear just how the this is straight from the horse's mouth. So this has to be this is true unfiltered cowboy killer lunacy. Let's see how this is. Oh, this is one of those things where I think it's going to be embarrassing to read, and I really hope people don't see me reading this out of context. Over the last 4 years, the United States has endured a full-scale invasion of aliens entering and remaining in the country illegally, causing a relentless onslaught of crime, vagrancy, violence, and death in countless American communities. This lawless invasion has also limited the capacity of American schools and hospitals to provide for American citizens and has diverted billions of dollars in federal, state, and local social services from Americans in need. Okay, pause for a second. My understanding is that basically all federal, state, and local social services are not you if you don't have a Social Security number or you're not a registered American citizen, you do not have eligibility to receive any of these benefits, especially on the federal and state levels. I know some local municipalities and cities and whatnot have special programs unique to them, acknowledging we have a large population of illegals and we know they can't access these essential services that would help them out a lot because they don't have a Social Security number or a for citizenship. So we're going to establish our own little internal program to help support these people in some kind of way. There are some examples of that, but like those are choices, those are local choices made within the city themselves. And also, what he mentions this lawless invasion has also limited the capacity of American schools and hospitals to provide for American citizens. The American schools one, I guess you could make some real argument there because illegal children still can go to school, as far as I understand, and they can receive those benefits. Let's put aside the fact that they pay taxes or whatever, but let's put that aside. Okay, hospitals are not run by the government. I know there are some hospitals that are government run, I guess, but my understanding is they're mostly municipal, and that we don't have any like universal healthcare system or anything even close to it. And so to make this sort of collectivized argument in an inherently uncollectivized system doesn't make sense to me. The continued presence of illegal aliens in our nation forces American taxpayers to bear a tremendous fiscal burden to support them, including through costs related to healthcare, food stamps, public housing, emergency medical services, education, and shelter, as well as the costs of crimes committed by illegal aliens. My understanding is that they aren't eligible for almost any of that. And they pay taxes. They still have to pay taxes, right? They pay sales tax, they pay property tax, they pay basically all the taxes a normal citizen would, and they're not eligible to receive the benefits. My understanding is that illegals who are working and paying taxes in that capacity are actually a benefit to society in the sense that they pay them in more than they're like costing, more than they're taking out. In fiscal year 2023 alone, these costs were estimated to exceed $150 billion in taxpayer dollars. Removal flights of illegal aliens are a necessary aspect of immigration enforcement and upholding the rule of law, but they require substantial resources and manpower. Therefore, the provision of financial incentives to encourage and assist aliens illegally in the country to deport from the United States has the potential to save tremendous taxpayer resources while restoring the sovereignty of our country. As president, it is my legal obligation to exercise all tools at my disposal to end this invasion, remove the illegal alien invaders from the United States, and protect the American people. This proclamation establishes Project Homecoming, which will present illegal aliens with a choice: either leave the United States voluntarily with the support and financial assistance of the federal government, or remain and face the consequences. Now, why is it all in caps now? This is like one of his tweets. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America by the authority vested in me by the Constitution in the United States of America, including immigration nationality, hereby proclaim and direct as follows. Free return home and CBP home application. In furtherance with the purposes of this proclamation and to facilitate the rapid departure of illegal aliens from the United States, I direct, pursuant to Section 215 of the INA, the Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security, in consultation with the heads of other relevant executive departments and agencies, to create seamless processes for illegal aliens to rapidly depart the United States, including through available technological resources such as the CBP Home application. Any flights provided to illegal aliens voluntarily and permanently departing the United States pursuant to processes established under subsection A of the section shall be funded by the federal government. In furtherance of the purposes of this proclamation and to facilitate the rapid departure of illegal aliens from the United States, I direct, pursuant to the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security, to take all appropriate actions to enable the rapid departure of illegal aliens from the United States who currently lack a valid travel document from their countries of citizenship or nationality, or who desire to travel to any other country willing to accept their entry. The Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall create a concierge service whereby any alien illegally present in the United States may arrive at an airport with or without appropriate travel documents, book air travel to permanently relocate to a different country, and claim the exit bonus described in Section 2 of this proclamation upon their successful return. Exit bonus. In furtherance of the purposes of this proclamation and to facilitate the rapid departure of illegal aliens from the United States, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security, in consultation with the heads of all relevant agencies, shall provide financial incentives in the form of an exit bonus for each illegal alien who voluntarily and permanently departs the United States. And permanently. How do they possibly track that? I would imagine that's not that easy to track. Could somebody I'm just imagining somebody coming in, getting the free flight to wherever they want to go, because they said it doesn't have to be back to their home country. It just has to be wherever it would take them. So they come in, get the free flight where they want to go, get the exit bonus, and then just come back at a later date, and do the whole thing over again. I feel like there maybe would try and implement some sort of system to prevent people from doing that, but I have no faith that they're going to do anything competently. Penalties for aliens who failed to depart. The Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security, in consultation with the heads of other relevant agencies, shall conduct a nationwide communications campaign to notify illegal aliens of the availability of cost-free travel to other countries, the exit bonus, and the sweeping consequences for those who choose to remain illegally present, including removal, prosecution, incarceration, and fines as consistent with applicable law for immigration-related crimes, the garnishment of wages, and the confiscation of savings and personal property, including homes and vehicles. No later than 60 days after the date of this proclamation, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall supplement existing enforcement and removal operations by deputizing and contracting with state and local law enforcement officers, former federal officers and personnel within other federal agencies, and other individuals to increase the enforcement and removal operations force for the Department of Homeland Security by no less than 20,000 officers in order to conduct an intensive campaign to remove illegal aliens who have failed to deport voluntarily. I'm not reading that last little bit. So I think this is actually what I was talking about. This is the same order that doubles the ICE force. So I guess it was 20,000 before and they're doubling it to 40,000. I think this is the same thing that was referenced before. So this is just completely unhinged. All of the reasoning given is completely illogical and devoid from reality. None of this should be surprising, but it's this does not this is just, I don't know. There's so many problems with this. Um, there's so many problems with this. Illegal aliens in the United States is good for us for the most part. Okay, there is a threshold in which it would be too much. There is an ideal number of immigrants, and as well as an ideal number of illegal immigrants, if we're going to be economically objective about this. My understanding is that every economic demographic benefits in the United States benefits from the presence of illegal immigrants up to a certain threshold. Besides one, there's a single group of Americans, that economic group, that does not benefit from the presence of illegal immigrants, and that is those without a high school degree or a GED. So high school dropouts who are competing for the same jobs as those, illegal immigrants who don't have a GED or a high school degree either. Those are the only people that show any sort of economic negative consequence from the presence of illegal aliens. Every other economic group, as far as I understand it, tangibly, statistically, economically benefits from their presence. And it makes sense, right? Anybody working any job that isn't on the very, very bottom of our social hierarchy benefits, because most of these illegal aliens coming in fill in that bottom rung, and it necessarily expands the need for everything above them, right? If there's these people requiring these services, it requires more services for the layer above them, and it requires more services from the layer above them, and yada yada yada. It grows the economy in an outward manner that benefits almost everybody. And so the idea that we want to kick out all the illegals is really stupid. Um, and to the extent that you have a problem with them, and so the argument that they're here legally and they committed a crime to be here, and that is a problem, to the extent that that is the case, you could try and nationalize these people, right? If you're somebody who acknowledges the economic benefits of them, but says they committed a crime and therefore they should receive the punishment, or they should have come in the right way, you don't have to kick them out. You know that, right? You could just like create a path to citizenship so that they don't have that problem you're talking about where they've committed a crime or whatever, to cross the border or to lie on their asylum seeking status or whatever. I wish a court could review this, sort of like the other thing we covered earlier, the trans-military ban, where the judge was basically saying like, you guys aren't presenting any reasoning, so we should not defer to you. And on top of that, for this issue, I don't think there could be any good reasoning. I wish there was a judge like that would come and smack this around, give this a little, because this is just so stupid. And like, if it was held to any standard like that, that would be the case, right? There's no logical reasoning in this anywhere. It's completely devoid.